How we doing, everybody? DommyGun, Rici here, back again, week 6 for Light It Up. I think I'm setting a record for myself. I know it doesn't sound so great, right? 6 weeks. I've been steady though, steady and steady as it goes. One little hiccup will be in the works on Saturday. We'll start at 11 instead of 10. But other than that, we'll keep it going all through the year till the World Series is over. Now we'll keep Saturday mornings, 10 o'clock a.m. We will keep going through the play right through the regular season. Then with the playoffs, we never know. But I'm sure we'll still keep that Saturday morning, even with the playoffs. Just might be shorter shows, something like that. But we'll keep this 10 a.m. spot at Who-Bangin Sports Talk, and we'll keep on doing MLB till we can't no more. Then, of course, we're going to have the NCAA football starting up. We got some new things going on at Who-Bangin Sports in college football this year, so stay tuned to that. We're setting up some schedules. We will be doing NFL from the beginning of the year. Last year, we fooled around with it a little bit, did a show in the afternoon for the late games. It was fun, but we'll probably go back to, or not go back to, but start the full game slate early on a Sunday morning. We'll figure out our times. And that's it, man. Who-Bangin's going strong, getting stronger and stronger, and a lot of things will be coming up. So stay tuned for that. Enough of all that. We're in the thick of baseball season now. Second half has started. A couple of surprises to some people. I'm not surprised at a couple of things that have been happening, but don't be so quick to write some of these teams off either. I know the Reds didn't come out of the gate so strong as they had as they were in the first half, but I wouldn't count them out yet. Don't know if they have the pitching to go, but all the way. But I still like the Reds somewhat. When we talked about our second half predictions when we did a show a couple Thursdays ago with Big Ragu and Connor Mack and Razor Sharp's picks. I wasn't so keen on the Marlins going in the second half. I didn't know. I don't think they have the arms. I still feel like that. They won a lot. If you look at the Marlins, even though I did well with them, as I'm sure a lot of us have, they won a lot of those one-run ball games. A lot of singles they hit. They don't get those big runs in. They don't have those. They don't hit a lot of doubles, a lot of triples. If you look at their numbers, you'll see what I mean. They won a lot of games by one run, actually. The Marlins are a team. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't think they have it to go. Baltimore Orioles came out of the gate strong. The Mets won the last few games, but again, they just dug out themselves a little big of a hole with that damn losing to the Dodgers in the series. It was brutal. So, but we'll see what happens. My prediction for the Mets was they're going to make a nice big run. They're going to start closing, and it's just going to be a little bit too little, too late. They're going to expand all their energy trying to catch up, and it's just not happening. We are seeing a little faltering in the Braves, which, again, they played so great in the first half. You're going to see some of these things happen. I don't think the Braves are going to go into a nosedive, a total nosedive, even though the last 2 days they didn't look so great. The D-backs, another team from the first half that is a little questionable for the second half. Do they have the arms? The Zach Allen bounced back after the start in the NL All-Star game. Does he have is he bounced back a little bit today? Is he going to continue what he did in the first half? As we look at his numbers, we see his home and road splits, kind of like Chris Bassett, another one on the card on today's docket. I don't have those play on that game yet, the Toronto game, but he's another one whose away and home splits are just so different, and it's bizarre to me sometimes. Not that a pitcher doesn't pitch as good away from his home park, but how bad they are sometimes away. So anyhow, good morning, James X Nizzle 420 in the house. How you doing, my brother? Good to see you. Had a couple This week was crazy week here in New York. The weather was just nuts. Storms, hot humidity. It's just been crazy. So I'm looking forward to today. It's a little bit cooler. Looking forward to today. I got some more baseball to cap. I didn't cap It was a tough game. A lot of early games. I wanted to get a couple of these early games on for you. So those are the ones I capped. I'll touch. We'll try to touch on every game, but like I said, I only got a few plays so far. But I'll always put them out after that. What's up, TJ Big Boss? What's happening? That's right. Hashtag Team Who-Bangin. Like I mentioned at the beginning, just keep your eye out. Within a week or two, we'll have all our schedules set and we'll be ready to go. I've done our Beyond the Odds handicapping, sports betting workshop. We've done two, one in June, one in July, and now which the second one, as of course, was geared a little bit towards Major League Baseball. The first one was more general. Now the next one coming up, I'll have a date for you soon, and we'll put out some kind of promotion. We'll be in August sometime, second week, third week, whatever, and it'll be geared towards the college football and NFL. We'll do a show about that. We'll get the right guests on for the right sports. When it comes to, especially for college football, that won't be me, but that's what we'll be doing. We'll grab some guys and we'll get. Listen, I know I'm keeping both feet in MLB for to the end this year because I'm on a roll. I'm doing well. I just like I did last year, but then the second half last year, I just kind of broke even. I kind of thankfully had a big enough cushion from the first half, so I had a good year still, but the second half wasn't. So I'm concentrating on the second half, not getting distracted with anything else, but I will be touching on football and the team we have. You don't need me for every sport, that's for sure. We have that covered. Man, before you know it, the summer will be over. But anyhow, let's get going. First game, Arizona Braves. Tough game, man. Like I mentioned, Zach Allen, Strider. Strider hasn't been pitching as good as he was, and I guess you kind of could have expected that. But I think he bounced. I think he has a little bit of a bounce back in this game. Same with Zach Allen. I didn't expect him to come out of the gate, strong, especially after I think that had a lot to do with him pitching that starting the All-Star game. That's a big thing for pitchers, man. I mean, I live here in New York. I know Derek Cole was really talking about starting for the American League and really, almost campaigning for himself over the last few weeks, talking about how much it would mean to him and what it does mean to pitchers. Sometimes I guess we don't realize that. But anyhow, I didn't expect Gallen to come out of the gate pitching well, and he hasn't. But I think today he pitches a little bit better. His home and away splits are terrible. His away splits are terrible. He's pitching a lot better at home, and his home numbers are the reason why he actually started in that All-Star game for the National League. So I'm on the fence on this game. I like the under 9. I think it was 9 or 9.5 last night, and I let it go. I waited, and it got bet right down. I didn't think it was going to get bet down like this. Now it's 8.5 is even. The over 8.5 is juiced to -120. But if it was a 9, I'd take the under 9. So I'm kind of leaving this game alone. It's a 12:20 start Eastern, so it's going to start within 2 hours or so, 2.5 hours. Don't know what to do with this game. I kind of lean on the Diamondbacks won these last two games. Big numbers have come in. I don't know. I tell you, if this number drops to 8, I might just see. I hate doing that when I'm thinking on the under from the beginning and then lose the number. You know what? I'm just going to have to leave this alone. If for some weird reason it bounces back up to 9, I'll go under. But at 8.5, I'm going to leave it. If it dropped down to 8, I don't know. I'm just going to leave it. The only way I'm going to bet it is 9. So that's that. We'll see what happens. The next game is, what did Strider do his last 3 games? Not so bad, though. No, 19 innings pitched. So both these pitchers have gone 19 innings in their last 3 starts. So they've pitched, some, deep. You might get one play I might recommend is an over outs on this. Let me see if I know Bet Online, not Bet Online, Bet US has that prop up all the time. I'm not even. I've not looked at FanDuel or DraftKings Sportsbook in so long. I don't even know if they offer that. total outs for a pitcher. But if they do, both these pitchers, yeah. See, they got Strider, though, over 18 and a half outs. That's the under 18 and a half ounces minus 190. That means he would have to go pretty much the full game. I mean, what's that? 7, 14, 21, 6, 12, 18. That's almost the full 7 innings that he would have to pitch. And as for Gallon, he would have to pitch a full 6 innings, 6.5 innings. His is 17 and a half. So I don't know. I guess those numbers are showing, I guess I'll be off of that one too. So let me just let that game go. Like I said from the beginning, no play on the Braves game. I don't know if anyone does. You let me know. What is up, Gamblestein? Mr. DX Filer in the house. What's up, buddy? How are you? Sorry I haven't been in the chats too much. It's been a little bit crazy. We've been doing a lot of work over here at Who-Bangin, and you know how it goes with the family stuff. But I do apologize for that. Our boy DX Filer has started some of the best chat groups on Twitter that we all have privately that I'm in. So I still appreciate what you do, man. I'll be back in there more. I promise I'll be back in there more. So anyhow, San Francisco Giants, Cincinnati Reds is my next game. This is a good game for me. I took, how many bets did I take on this? I took 2 bets in this game. I took the Reds first 5 minus 120, and I took the under first 5 minus 20, which was 5. And let me just make sure it was 5 or 4.5. It was 4.5 minus 120. 4.5. Those are the 2 bets I took. Cobb's been pitching well. I mean, he's had, first of all, for some reason, what's up, Razor? Good morning. For some reason, he's pitched great at the Reds Park in his career. I mean, it's only like a 1.38 ERA or something within a couple of games. But his last games, no, he means doing that to me. Your device wants to restart. No. How come in the middle of a show it wants to restart, right? But Cobb, 13 innings, 1.38 ERA at Reds home. Let's see. But this is what I noticed that the current lineup for the that Cobb has pitched. The Reds have 28 at bats against Cobb this year, and with an 8.33 OPS. So this year he hasn't pitched as well as he has in previous years. The Giants, I don't know, they're starting to falter a little bit. In the first half, they were a tricky team this year. They were up, they were down, they were up, they were down. Then they went on that roll, right? In June. I guess maybe it was in June. They had like that 10-game winning streak. They started turning some heads without having any great pitching. But the last 30 days versus lefties, and now they're versing a good lefty in Abbott. They're ranked 27th, 26th, 27th in team OPS and like 23rd in team ISO. So they're not hitting lefties. No power really with lefties. And yeah, I'm all over the place with this. Here you go, Cobb. A little bit different. And why I like. I'll tell you. If it wasn't for this damn bullpen, I would have took the Reds the whole game. But it's the reason why I took them only in the first 5. But anyhow, Cobb has on the road has a 4.15 ERA, has a 3.33 WOBA, a 1.44 WHIP. Now at home, he had a 1.24 ERA, a 1.17 WHIP. So the WOBA was like 2.75. So Cobb splits like I talked about with Bassett and and Gallon, that they the home and road splits are very different, and so is Cobb. So listen, that's what I feel like the Reds could get to him. I think the Reds are going to start hitting a little bit better. I love Abbott. I think he's a good. I think he's very good. You took the first 5 under 5 Reds, yeah, and the Reds money line, good. Good. Glad to hear it. I got to, right now I got to go back to my, because I thought I did take it at 5. Right now it's at 4.5. The That first 5. Let me go to my wages and see if I got lucky enough to get the 5. Cincinnati Reds. Yes, under 5 minus 120. First 5 innings. Beautiful, beautiful. So we're on that together, and the line did drop to 4.5. So we do like seeing that. But getting back to the Giants and how they're not hitting left-handed pitching, and I told you about Cobb's road splits. Giants versus left-hand pitching. They're ranked, in the bottom half of the league in a lot of categories. 22nd in OPP, 20th in ISO, 22nd in WRC plus. The last 7 left-handed pitches against the Giants have pitched 38 innings with a 2.32 ERA and so the Giants versus left-hand pitching, they faced them 38 innings with they only had a 2.32 as a team ERA against those left-handed pitching. I know I kind of wrote that a little bit weird, and only like a 1.24 WHIP. So I've been like kind of doing it against what we usually do with pitches as far as team, and they haven't really all that nonsense said and done. They're not hitting left-handed pitching. Reds lineup after July 1st, which I mentioned before, but I think they're going to start improving. They're 21st in WRC+, 12th, though, in ISO, but 21st in OPP. So, if you look at Abbott's numbers, the Brewers seem to own him. I mean, they see him an awful lot. It seems like all we watched was Reds-Brewers games for the last few weeks. They seem to play each other a couple different series, in both parks. It was bizarre. I'm sure they're not going to see him too much more this year, but he did do good against them. But without them, he's been pitching great. He has 2.45 ERA for the season, a 1 WHIP at home. Oh no, his home ERA, that was for the season. His home ERA, 2.10 ERA with a 0.74 WHIP. So all that said and done, I like Abbott, I like Cobb. Just to keep in mind, when I was going deep into this game, I don't go into all the numbers and stuff all the time. Too many people do. But like those advanced numbers, those XFIPs and, things like that, show that Abbott's going to have a little bit of, not pitching as good as he was. The popular word regression as they use. But so keep your eye on that. But I think he has a good outing today. I went with him in that game. Let's see. The next game up. Another tough one. Milwaukee Brewers against the Phillies, against the DX Filers. I almost said against the Filers, bro. Brewers against the Phillies. Good matchup here. Burns against my boy Taijuan Walker, the ex-Met. He went to Philly. Didn't pitch so well to start, but then he did. He started pitching better and better. I'm sorry, but keep on looking down. Trying to get this lit. So anyhow, Taijuan Walker, went to Philly, and he has been better. He's been pitching. He's been pitching great. He is. Where's those numbers? Where is he? I believe But besides him being 7-0 in his last 7 starts, Phillies are 7-0. They won all of his games, so he won. He went 7-0. He got the decision in all those wins, but the last 7 games he started, Phillies won all of them. He has a 1.84 ERA in those 7 games, a 2.54 WOBA, a 3.02 FIP. But what I like is he has an 0.4 home run per 9. So the way I look at that is he's given up 1 home run every 4 games. 0.4 is a quarter, right? So home runs per 9. So he's not giving up the home runs. At home, his whip is a solid 1. At home, he has a 2.30 ERA. I like the Phillies a little bit. I like Walker a little bit in this game. It was tough for me yet to pull the trigger on Philly. Philly versus right-handed pitching. Since July 1st, they are 8th in WRC+. They are 7th in ISO. They are 7th in WOBA. The Brewers versus right-handed pitching. 17th in WRC plus 26th in ISO. So they're not hitting the right-hand pitching whatsoever. Let's see what else we could find out about this game. Other than what I took the under 8.5. It was minus 105. I believe last night it was 9, but I did take the 8 under 8.5 in this game. Corbin Burns, let's not leave him out. His last game, he had a blow up, a little bit of a blow up. We got 4 earned runs against Tampa, which it's Tampa, so we can't discard that. But 6 of his last 7 games, no more than 2 earned runs. If you notice, his ground ball rate has been getting better and better. His last outing, 13 Ks, 2 hits against Cincy. Then he had a 1-hit, 7-inning game against Pittsburgh. Phillies are striking out over the league average. They're about 23%. I believe the league average is still around 22%. What's up, Tori Coca? Thanks for joining. So, all that said and done, I like the Phillies. I like the Phillies under 8.5. I'm leaning to take the Phillies in this game. I think we're getting a good price at minus 108. Being that the Brewers came out of the gate pretty strong, stronger than I thought. But I think I'm going to talk myself into taking the Phillies also in this game, minus 108. Let's just do that. Let's just make it official. I don't like telling you I'm going to bet a game unless I bet it. Otherwise, I would say I would lean, but I am betting it right now. The Phillies minus 108. Let me just write that down for myself. Phillies minus 108. So I took them for the full game. We'll see what happens. The bullpen worries me a little bit, but we'll take it from there. Tori Coca has a 2-team parlay. Atlanta Braves minus 1.5 and Tampa Bay minus 1.5. What's that pay, Tori? What's that pay? And my buddy Gamble that I talked about, I said good things about him. Now I'm taking that all back. No, I'm only kidding. He took the Brewers. I hear you, and I agree with you 100%. It's you don't have the most. I don't either. Like as I'm talking about it, I took the Phillies right now, right, Gam? So I'm either. So we'll see what happens. The good news is at least one of us have to win. So there you go. All right. What do we got next here? What's next? I got a couple good numbers for you. That's the only bets I got for today, by the way. If anybody else has anything else, we'll hit those games. But so far, what I took was the Phillies minus 108. I took the Phillies under 8.5. I took the Reds first 5 under 5. And I took the Reds first 5 money line. I think that was minus 120, right? Yeah. Okay. What's next on this is a tough game for me. This game is I'm going back and forth with. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on this game, but the Padres and the Blue Jays, tough game. Chris Bassett, he's pitched better at home, but I don't know. He is not pitching as well as I thought he was going to pitch. He kind of faded out last year when he was on the Mets towards the end of the year. He had a terrible September. I don't know. I'm not completely thrilled with how he's. Even though, like I said, his numbers at home are a lot better, but he's just not pitching up to. Now Snell is a different story. Snell's have been pitching really well in the past. The Blue Jays have got to him a few times, but not this year. And I have a feeling that this is another game where. The under was 9.5 last night, or 9, and it dropped down. I might have took the under, or maybe the first 5 if I could have got the 5, but I let this game go. Tough game. Let's see what he's done. Last 3 games. Let's see. Bassett. Too about Bassett, and I was loving when he came to the Mets too. But like I said, if he would have stayed with the Mets, I don't know. I think he might have had a better a better performance this year. It's tough changing teams every couple of years like that. He went from Oakland to the Mets, so that's a tough switch. American League to the National League, and then he went back to the American League, but to a team that really needs his arm. Today he's going to prove a lot with this game today. He needs a big outing today. That's why I was just kind of I leaned the under and I leaned San Diego because they have been hitting righties well since the beginning of July, based the last few weeks. So Bassett last 3 games, 16 innings, 4.50 ERA, 1.44 WHIP, 14 strikeouts, 2 home runs. Snell, 16 innings pitched his last 3 games, no earned runs, 0.00 with a 1.31 WHIP. So he's only let up, a few batters on base. Really, 25 strikeouts with no home runs. He's really dealing, Snell. He's getting better and better. I know he owns the Mets. The Mets can't beat him. We might have got him once in his last few starts, but yeah, he's a tough out. So I have no play on this game. I don't know if anybody else does, but I do not have a play on this game. Next game, what else can we look at? Oh, this Met game is a tough one too now. Just quickly, another reason why I stayed off that Braves game, and I think Strider's going to bounce back today. Like I said, I think they're both going to pitch better. I still lean the under in that game, but my heart is too much in this game, and my heart it has to be rooting against the Braves. So that's the only thing I can do as a Met fan, right? We did actually gain 2 games on them the last 2 days. We were 18 games out, so I mean, take that with a grain of salt. But so tonight Mets. So of course I'm rooting for the Mets, and I didn't want that to affect my decision making. So, but I mean, I can't see the Diamondbacks sweeping the Braves. But funny things have happened. We have streaks in this league for reasons, right? These 10-game winning streaks that go on, and and more couple series straight. That happens. So teams, that whole theory about betting just against a sweep, that's not something I really follow. But Mets tonight, Quintana is pitching his first game. Typical Mets. We signed Quintana and he gets hurt. Now he's starting against his old team, the White Sox. And Kopech is pitching for the White Sox. Kopech's last 3 outings, he went 8 innings only in his last 3 outings with a 9.35 ERA, a 2.65 WHIP, 8 strikeouts, 3 home runs. So that doesn't bode well for the White Sox. The White Sox are a fraud team. If anybody's a fraud team, it's those White Sox. I definitely like the Mets bats are starting to heat up a little bit, but I started riding them. Thankfully I stayed off the game last night, but coming out of the gate, I did bet the last 2 games before that. I bet the under first 5s and for the full game, and they hit. I think tonight's might be that kind of game also. Quintana knows this team a little bit. He'll be amped up. I know it's his first start. Don't know how long he's going to pitch. Verlander pitched decent last night, so the pen didn't get crazy used up. So we'll see what happens. I don't know how long they're going to keep him. He's on a pitch count. So there's just so many question marks tonight, in this game. So for this Met game, I guess if anything, I would maybe take a Met team total over because of Kopech. And even though I think the Mets are going to produce a lot of under 8.5s are a nice bet in Met games. Those 8.5s, 9s, usually they're a pretty solid bet. I think they will be throughout the end of the year. I don't know if we're going to. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just all up in the air on how they're going. So I'm going to be staying away from a lot of Met games because there's so many question marks. The kids are starting to hit, man. Beatty's starting to hit. Alvarez is starting to hit. Not starting to hit. Alvarez was good from the time he got up. Beatty hit back-to-back games, home runs. Alvarez had two dingers. Not last night, the night before. So we got some positives going on. Our pitching staff is a mess. I don't know how it got this way. You know, I didn't like the general manager that we had to begin with. He came from the Angels, and that already should have been a red flag. But that's besides the point. How you doing, Gerald? How are you, man? Gerardo Hernandez in the house. Another Who-Bangin supporter, always here. Thank you very much. I always appreciate it. So that's my little take on the Mets. It's just kind of a wait and see. It's Detroit, Kansas City. I have nothing on. Michael Lorenz against Zach Greinke. Boy, oh boy, what a tough one. KC, it looks like it's getting a little bit of the money. It opened up at plus 120. I'm seeing a plus 115 now. Another interesting game that I'm going to be looking at. These next two games are games that I'm going to be looking to put a bet in on. I'm not really sure how. I got to cap it a little bit more when I get off the air. But this is the Twins against Seattle. Pablo Lopez against Kirby. I know Kirby didn't have the greatest outing last time, but I like both these pitches. I like they're solid pitches. Actually, Lopez got a little bit of money came to that towards Lopez. The 7.5 is definitely an underlook for me today. I think Kirby's going to pitch better. Kirby's the guy I like. We know Seattle's a pitcher's park in the beginning. I don't take too many unders. I like taking unders in that eight area, 8.5. But 7.5 gets a little dicey. Sevens I don't usually touch at all. But when it comes to that park in Seattle, I do tend to go onto that under 7.5. But as far as Twins are another crazy game. I think the Twins, do they have the? Let's go into some numbers here. I'll go into them when we're done. I just got some league numbers and some team numbers. But the Twins are a strikeout machine. They're unbelievable. The game after that is Baltimore, Tampa Bay. I'll go quick. Baltimore, Tampa Bay. I'm leaning Tampa Bay. The minus 190 is a problem number. Obviously, I think Tyler Glasnow is just so solid. I love the way he pitches. Kyle Gibson also not a bad pitcher, but not a good spot for Baltimore after being home after the All-Star game. Played well against the Dodgers. Baltimore's playing well. It was interesting to see what they're going to do in this next week before this August 1st deadline. If anybody could use an arm, it's Baltimore. When we were talking all the Ohtani nonsense the other night, and everybody has a million opinions, and so do I. I did mention that a team like Baltimore, which he would never ever go to in a million years, and when you say that, right, it happens, but he would never go to that team in a million years. But a team like Baltimore, that's the kind of player they could use, a big bat, DH, and because they got the hitters, they got the fielders, they don't need somebody out in the field. They do need another arm, and can you imagine? That's the type of team. Texas Rangers, Baltimore Orioles. I mean, those teams that aren't going to get him, but that do need him and can afford to get rid of some prospects or a couple of young good players. Baltimore is a team that fits the bill in my eyes. But regardless, I don't think this is a good spot for them at all. There's got to be a way to take Tampa Bay in this game. The total opened at 8.5 and went down to 8. Which might help me get to the Tampa Bay team total over. That might be a play that I might go back to. I talked about on our first half show on our show the other night about the just about baseball in general on the season, that the Beyond the Odds show. I talked about having really good success betting Tampa Bay at home with their first 5 team totals when it was 2.5. The Reds, the Rangers, and the Rays were 3 teams that I kept on hitting that play on and did well in the first half with those numbers. I might get to that again today, or even the full game over, team total over, something like that with Tampa Bay. But I think Tampa gets to Baltimore. That's why I don't like the total of 8, because I could see, Tampa scoring a lot of runs. I could see a 6-3, 6-4 game or a 7-3 game or, something like that. Even 6-2, which would 8 would be a push. I'll stay away from that total for now. We're going to try to get to the team total over in some fashion. A team that I said to keep an eye on, and once in a while my predictions are right, and that's St. Louis Cardinals. I've been betting their overs. I've been betting their team total overs. I started doing that about 2 weeks before the All-Star break. If you notice, if go back on their logs, even in their bad losing streaks, they have hit the ball, scored a lot of runs, gave up a lot of runs. I see no difference here. Stroman hasn't been the same since London. Since he got something happened to him in London where he got hurt. He didn't pitch as long as I thought he was going to pitch. He hasn't been the same. I think Stroman could be on the chopping block. I think he's a guy that a team in contention might go after him. Not sure if Stroman's going to be a Cub after this deadline. Steven Matz. What happened to Steven Matz? He just fell off. I thought he was going to have a rebound season. That's what he did not. That's for sure. And then he got hurt. Then he's been out. These two pitchers are pitchers I know. I know both these guys. They're both Long Island high school pitchers. They're both guys that I've heard about back in the day when they were in high school. I seen Steven Matz pitch twice. He pitched in the high school where friends of mine live out in Suffolk County, and I did. They used to talk about him, and just being hanging out there. We once in a while we go to the game, and I seen him pitch a couple times. He seems to have, I guess maybe it's just injuries. Don't know what's up with him. But keep your eye on the St. Louis Cardinals. Keep your eye on their overs. Keep your eye on their team totals. I've been doing really well with them. And it's, you wouldn't think, I'm not betting them to win. I did the other night when Montgomery pitched. But I don't. I've been betting, like I said, team totals and overs with the Cardinals. Keep your eye on them, man, because they. I don't know if they're going to keep on winning. I don't really like them in this spot today. I think the Cubs might, could get them. It's because of Mats. I think there could be a lot of runs scored in this game. 8.5 seems a little bit. I didn't look at the weather, and the weather is always a big thing in Chicago more than any other stadium. I'll go to it right now. Let's see. Weather. Wind blowing out in Atlanta, 11.4 miles per hour. No wind to talk about in Philly. No wind to talk about in Cincy, blowing out to left, 8 miles an hour. For me, the wind has to be like a 15 mile an hour-ish or more for it to be something notable. But in Chicago, you never know. Citi Field, the wind's blowing a little bit in towards left. I'll tell you one thing about Citi Field, like Yankee Stadium, the right field, I'm pointing. The right field fence, that's a porch. That's, they got that. Soto comes into Citibank all the time, just dunks his home runs right into that corner, man. Something to keep your eye out when you're looking at weather. If you see that weather pointing out towards right field, that Citi Field, even like 10 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour, it's something to keep your eye on because balls fly out of there, And same in Yankee Stadium. Kansas City, nothing big. Seattle, wind blowing out 4 miles an hour, no big deal. I still like that under 7.5. Here we are. Of course, the last game I look at. Okay, so the wind is blowing in at 16 miles per hour in Chicago. So maybe that's why that 8.5 is not 9 or higher for this game, because you would think that maybe it would be higher, but it is not. So there you go. So that's that. Let's look at a couple of numbers, a couple of things that I'll be on for like another 10 minutes. Try to, if you're still on, hang in with me because these some of these things might help you out in the long run. First thing I found out, which I thought was interesting, was division comparisons. They had it on. I was watching something on Major League Baseball on the Major League Baseball network the other night, and they popped up this comparison with divisions, and I thought it was interesting with win percentage and run differential. Each league. So starting with the NL West. NL West has a 430 win percentage with a okay. I started with the worst with a minus 283 run differential as a division. NL West 430 win percentage, minus 283 run differential. That is something to keep in mind, man. That's a bad division top to bottom. I know we know the teams that are in it, and but even the teams at the top ain't really. Let's go to the exact standings. I don't know if you guys do like I do, but a lot of times I don't even look at like a lot of standings and stuff like that. I very rare, like once in a while I'll look at where teams are and things like that. But a lot of times I don't even look at the standings. But NL West minus 283. I just can't get over that number. NL Central. So the NL is the AL. Put it this way: the AL is just dominating the NL in these categories. NL Central, a 480 win percentage with a minus 9 run differential. The NL East, my famous NL East, 484 win percentage, minus 94 run differential. Now here are the good ones. The AL West, a 509 win percentage, so they're above average, plus 35 for the division. AL Central, 526 win percentage with a plus 50 run differential. And like we talked about a bunch of times this year, how the AL East has been winning against the other divisions at a big clip. AL East teams versus outside their division has been, I have the number written somewhere, but it's in the 63, 64% win rate category when they're outside their division. They got a 572 win percentage with a plus 301 run differential. I thought that those are interesting numbers, and it just shows you. And it started at the beginning of the year. The AL East is the dominant division. The NL West is the worst. Away teams against the spread this year are hitting at 54.2%. The favorites are hitting at only a 43.2%. Dogs, 819 and 623 this year, 56.8%. Away dogs, 58.5%. That's big, man. Home dogs, 53%. So dogs have been winning. Even though I hardly bet any dogs. And it just goes to show you how we cap and how different things, and how bankrolls play a part in it also. Because do you bet like that? I'm going to bet every dog every day. Do you have a bankroll to even do that? Yes, you'd be ahead this year. You'd be ahead by a lot, according to the numbers I just read to you. But, is that realistic? Come on. No, who has a bankroll like that? I sure as hell don't. But I thought that those were interesting numbers. Let's see what else we got. The best team ERA in the league is Tampa Bay at 373, followed by Minnesota. But Minnesota has 929 strikeouts. Holy God. Followed by the Astros, the Padres, and Atlanta. So those are the top 5 ERA teams in the league. The top bullpens in the league. The Yankees still lead the league with 364 innings pitched, 1.32 ERA, a 3.26 ERA, with 132 earned runs. Cleveland, number 2 bullpen. Atlanta, number 3. Twins, number 4. Toronto, number 5. So keep that stuff in mind. And that's about it. That's about all I got for you. Best pitches. Taijuan Walker has 11 wins, followed by Eovaldi with 11 wins, Strider with 11 wins, McClanahan 11 wins, Zach Allen 11 wins. So a lot of those pitches are all in that 11-win area, man. And there are a couple names that might be a little bit surprising. Not Strider, that's for sure, but a couple names that might be a little bit surprising. So anyway, that's what I have for you. My plays for today are Phillies minus 108. Phillies under 8.5 minus 105. The Reds first five under 5 minus 120. And the Reds first five money line minus 120. That's the games I got for you guys. I did this kind of on the fly. Tough card. I really didn't even get deep into it. You know how the summertime goes. It gets a little hectic, gets a little crazy. But we made another show. We'll see if we keep up the streak. The streak's been going good. Last Saturday was not a great day. I split, but we still overall we're at about now. It's at about like unofficially 36-20 for the show. I'm within 1 or 2 of I gotta update it. Out of the All-Star break was 30-18 for the show. So we'll see how it goes. I'll be back on Saturday, but not at 10 a.m. I'll be back at 11 a.m. Going to an all-day concert festival tomorrow. So I figure I better give myself that extra hour because I know myself. So I'll be back Saturday at 11 a.m. But I appreciate you guys coming in. All the best to everybody. DX Filer, Tori Coca, Dabby Cab. I know Dabby probably jumped out already, right? He probably has to go over to Pubby. Keep your eye out for Dabby on Pub Sports. He always has some good information. Gerardo Hernandez, thank you. DJ Big Boss, Ix Nizzle, Razor Sharps Picks. Give Razor a shout. Give Razor a follow. Give Ix Nizzle 420 a follow. Give out DX Filer a follow. Give all our boys a follow. Tori Coker, Gerardo Hernandez, Dabby Cab. A lot of good minds, a lot of good handicappers, man. That's where I'm the luckiest that I was able to hook up with a lot of good cappers over the years, and it's made me a better capper, 100%. Looking at my records, I've improved every year, and it's not because I've been getting smarter. It's because I've been smart at surrounding myself by a lot of good cappers, a lot of good young minds, and that's great. We got to get it. We have to have a get together soon. But we're gonna have to plan it because it seems when anybody else plans these things, it ain't what it used to be. So I guess I'm gonna have to take over that and get a nice trip started. Maybe we'll shoot for September out west and see if we can put something together. But see how that goes. But until then, this is DommyGun Rici. I appreciate everybody coming out, and I will see you Saturday at 10 a.m. at 11 a.m. for Light It Up.